And welcome back to the Frankie and Noah premiere show this week. Today is October 28th, 2020, and I don't want to the day go by without wishing Wally Kriker a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Wally.
Happy birthday, Wally, man. So, hey, episode 2, we're getting straight into this. Well, actually, before we actually get into it, I'm going to have to say something else. I'm wearing my jersey, St. John's University. If people are wondering where I'm from and where I played, it's my alma mater here, St. John's University. So let's go Red Storm.
I'm wearing an AC Milan jersey today just because they're the only team left unbeaten in Europe. And I've been an AC Milan fan since I was a kid, so...
Good. That's fantastic, Noah. Okay, so now we're going to get straight into the game of the week for this week. What is it, Noah?
Yeah, game of the week, we have Manchester United versus Arsenal. Another matchup similar to last week's Chelsea versus United. Two teams are looking for top 4. United's in 15th, Arsenal are in 11th. Both teams are Champions League aspirators. They need to get their season on track, and this game is going to be a launching pad for them, whichever team can win.
So I totally like both the game that you picked. They're both probably in the same sort of position, at least very, very close. Two very different coaches, both of them playing Premier League, both of them foreigners, if you will, and a little bit of a different style of play, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Mikel Arteta is so possession-based, coming from Pep Guardiola and being his understudy, being from Spain, coming from this golden generation of tiki-taka football. Of course, Arteta loves to play with possession, and he plays a 4-3-3. That's how he's going to set up his team. They're going to play possession for sure. While United with Solskjaer is a bit more counter-attacking style. They play a 4-2-3-1. They're going to sit back. They're going to absorb a bit of pressure, and they're going to try and hit Arsenal on the counter in the areas that Arsenal don't have, the space that they leave whenever they have the ball up the field.
So, obviously, Noah, we want to know a little bit more about the game, right? Why you actually picked these guys. So, what's going on with these teams? What's going on right now?
Well, both of these teams coming into this, United just won 5-0 in the Champions League. Arsenal are playing right now in the Europa League. Man United definitely have the momentum for sure. Even though they tied 0-0 with Chelsea as their second consecutive clean sheet, that their defense is looking better under Solskjaer, which was a huge issue after that 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. They've started to turn around since then, actually, instead of going further down the hole. While Arsenal need to jumpstart some form, Arsenal are 3 wins, 3 losses. They can't decide what team they want to be on what day, and I think they need to bring it up. And looking at the history of the fixtures, the last time Manchester United lost to Arsenal in the league at Old Trafford was in 2006-2007. Players back then for Manchester United were Rooney and Ronaldo, while Arsenal had Henry and Van Persie. Fun fact, Frankie, the last time Arsenal lost to Manchester United, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was still a player at Manchester United.
What? How long has that been?
14 years.
Wow, dude, that's crazy. Like 14 years. That's like a whole, like for you, it's a whole generation almost. I mean,
Exactly.
It's a lifetime. So that's very interesting because this guy's like 47 years old, right? Ole Gunnar, and now you're going in, and I'm taking back Miguel. Miguel is obviously, different style of play. They both come in from a very strong legacy of teams, right?
Of course.
They should be in the first 4, right? Where should these guys be?
Yeah, these guys are both aiming for top 4 finishes. Last year at this time, United was in 10th and Arsenal was in 4th. Both of these teams have gotten off to slower starts than they wish, and they're both top 4. But the league wide open, Frankie. Both of these teams right now are looking at themselves. If we can put together a run, we can compete for the league. And both of these teams need to win this weekend.
Well, I'm going to say something. I think Man United has a lot going on for themselves right now. They have quite a few good players that are stepping up to the game. They've actually made a good bet with some young players, right? And I think it's actually playing off, right? And then Man U also has somebody else coming in, has to prove themselves. Somebody with a little bit more experience, but hungry, super hungry for scoring goals, and that's obviously Cavani, right?
Yeah.
So, what's going on with those?
Cavani is really yet to get, a lot of game time under his feet. He's only come on as substitution so far. He came on as a sub again in the Champions League against Leipzig, I believe. He could be a factor this weekend. He could be. He's obviously played against Arsenal before as for PSG. But we'll see if he's involved. We'll see if he starts. But some key factors to keep an eye off in this game definitely is how Arsenal keep the ball and how United are going to play counterattack. I mean, just looking at the stats, Arsenal have the 3rd most completed and attempted and completed passes in the league. Arsenal have the third most, and they have the fourth most touches in the league, while Manchester United have the 13th most touches in the league and the second worst pressures, a stat showing how many times a team steps up to the ball. Man United are second worst in the league because they don't step up to the ball. They want to sit back, they want to absorb the pressure, and they're going to want to hit Arsenal on their counterattack, and that's definitely something for me to watch. And with Cavani, being in and out the box as a number 9, he doesn't, get as much involved with those counterattacks, but he needs to be in that area when Rashford and Greenwood get going down those wings. Cavani needs to be ready in the box if he gets playing time.
That's very interesting you say that, because last week we were talking about Man U. They were part of our preview that we were talking about. And we said something that these guys are about counterattacking. We were saying they're more of an offensive sort of team. They take in a lot of goals. And it seems like you could be right. They're taking way too many goals, and this counterattack, they can't put up with the pressure. They can't take the pressure. They can't exert pressure. They're sitting in the middle over there, which makes me think Ole Gunnar, this Norwegian guy who should be more of a Viking, I suppose. I'm actually calling him a Viking. With a lot more hunger. He's a forward himself. He's like a finisher, right? This guy is actually supposed to be going in here and actually just cutting and finishing this stuff. And I'm not seeing it right now. They're playing a very versatile game. You can't really predict the way they're going to play. They can play defensive. They can play this. I think they're still finding, and I think that's the beauty of it. Like, they can play in so many ways. They have such a huge tactical book, and they can put it to play. You never know. I think they're poised to win.
I don't know about that, Frankie. They scored 5-0 in this game against Leipzig. The offense is doing fine. The defense is not conceding goals. They've gotten 2 clean sheets in back-to-back games. I think, if anything, United are starting to make a turn for the better. This could be the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer team that we thought we would see, that Norwegian Viking type of team. A counter-attack team might not be pretty, but they're going to get the results. Right now, they're starting to figure it out on both ends. So, we'll see. Solskjaer, I've always thought, maybe is he tactically able to handle the Premier League? Every time Solskjaer looks like he's going to get fired, he saves his job with a result. So we'll see what he does this week against Arsenal too. The last week though, Frankie, they looked pretty stale against Chelsea, a team that's in the same boat as them. So we'll see what they do again against a team like Arsenal. I've got 2 players to watch from each team. I'm going to start with mine from Manchester United. I've got Mason Greenwood. And Greenwood, as you can see, man, he's an electric player. He is rapid. He is clinical. He gets in behind. He's got a wicked left foot. He's a Manchester United youth English talent. They've brought these guys up through the system before. He's been someone that needs to step up. He just came back from injury against Leipzig with a goal and an assist, a great performance. I think if Rashford and Cavani are going to get going in this game with no Martial due to his red card against Tottenham, it's going to be crucial for Greenwood to play and step up big time. Like you said, youth players need to step up for United.
So, good pick. No, I really like this kid as well. He's actually very young. He's very good with the ball. He is a natural lefty, right? And he knows how to actually take that ball all the way from the right side all the way into the left side. His shots and his finishes are really, really good. He's actually proven himself. But like anything else, extremely young. He definitely needs, obviously, that support from his teammates and build that confidence. But you can tell already he's got that confidence. If he gets a couple of goals and he got some good performance, I think he can actually carry this forward line and actually compete with Martial and all of these guys for sure.
I agree. I think so. And my player for Arsenal, is going to be Thomas Partey. He's a new signing, Frankie. They bought him from Atletico Madrid, $45 million. Diego Simeone was not happy to find out that they paid the release clause for Partey on deadline day. The last day they brought this guy in. And he's a number 6 type player. He's going to control the midfield. He's going to distribute. He's going to win the ball back. He's going to press. And he's going to be key for me. Maybe not an attacking player for Arsenal, but he is someone that is going to control the middle of the field. He needs to sit in there. He needs to distribute. And, Frankie, one player for Arsenal for me to watch more on the offensive side is Aubameyang. Goalless in his last 5 games. Hasn't scored since the opening day. What's going on? Is he supposed to be the best guy?
I don't know, man. Let me tell you something. What do you have to say about this guy? Be honest.
I think, be honest, I think he's supposed to be the best player for Arsenal. Some days he shows up, some days he doesn't. He needs to show up and be consistent. He's the club captain. They just extended him a year by his contract. He's supposedly their saving grace. That's how the Arsenal fans see him. He needs to step up and play for real. I think he's going to be an Arsenal legend. He says he wants to be a legend like Henry, a legend that brings trophies. He has said that. He needs to do more, if you ask me.
Really?
Yeah, he does. And a player that I'm asking you about is Pogba. What's going on with Pogba?
Man, I got to tell you about a little bit, very disappointed with this guy. There's no doubt about it. I followed him when he was at the Italian League. I loved his style. Very tall guy. Like, you don't expect that that kind of skill set and his finesse on the field from such a tall guy.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That kid, like, that ball just rolls over him like naturally, right? So that guy is just amazing, and it's kind of disappointing that you just can't see the best of what Pogba can offer. So totally disappointing. I mean,
It's a shame. It's
what
a
are you
real
going to do about him? He sucks.
I mean, he sucks. He sucks
You
when
bench him, or what do you do?
he shows up to the Champions League because that's the big game for the week and a big week night for him at Old Trafford, and he shows up and he plays great, and then when it comes to the weekend, he doesn't feel like playing. He did the same thing against PSG for United, and he didn't show up to Chelsea. They didn't start him against Chelsea. I don't think they're going to start him in this game. The emergence of Fred and McTominay in the center of midfield for Manchester United has been huge. They've been trying to find two defensive midfielders to work for them. Finally, Fred and McTominay have got that down. I don't think Pogba gets into the team to start this game.
So let me ask you a little bit more about Pogba, because we can't let this one go. How he was one of the most expensive recruits or not?
Of course.
What was
No,
he?
he was.
What was he? Top what? For
I
Man,
think he was
Man
top
U?
5 all-time transfers.
For what? For Man U?
Of all time, maybe.
Of all time.
Top 10 at least. Top 10 minimum.
Okay, so you're expecting this guy to actually do a little bit more than what he's doing, right?
He's a marquee player.
Okay, so what do you think? Because he was actually Ole Gunnar, right? So it's not that he brought him in. Do you
No.
think this is a conflict of different styles? What's going on here? He just doesn't fit in. How do you bring this guy back into this? Is it, you've seen a lot of these players come in and go, and amazing players that are just on the bench. You wouldn't expect. Look at your Tottenham boy. I mean, he came from Real Madrid. Look at him.
No, of course. Referring to Gareth Bale. But my point is that you're absolutely right with Pogba. You're absolutely right. The guy is supposed to be the best player on the team, if you ask me. There's no really saving him at Manchester United. It's not that he can't produce for them. He's just never going to produce on a consistent basis. I think he's a luxury player. He can't be your best player on the team. Maybe at a Real Madrid or a big team like this, he's got 1 or 2, 3, 4 great guys around him. But at Manchester United, he's supposed to be the best guy. They've got 2 other great guys around him stretching, and he can't handle it. Frankly to say, he can't handle it, Frankie. Unfortunately, I think that's going to start bringing us towards the end. Some of the final thoughts I have in this game are, the keys to winning this game is each one of their team fulfilling their game plan. Arsenal are going to want to have the ball. They're going to want to keep the ball. They're going to want to break Manchester United down. Manchester United are going to want them to have the ball and break us down so we can hit you on the counter. Whichever team makes the best of the opportunities they're going to get is really what's obviously going to decide this game. It doesn't sound like that bold of a suggestion, but really, whoever plays their game the best is going to win this game. My only hope for this game, Frankie, is that it doesn't look a bit like Chelsea Man United last week. You could see both teams didn't want to lose that game, but both teams didn't really want to win. It was a 0-0 game, kind of stale, kind of bland. I'm really hoping for a more energetic game here. So, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Manchester United win. It's tough, it's a little scrappy, but Manchester United are going to pull it out. They haven't lost at home in 14 years.
Okay, so I'm going to say it's about time that they actually pull it off, Arsenal. I'm not feeling, to be honest with you, Miguel, like, he's not doing what he should be doing, you know what I mean? He's not taking this team. I don't know if it's because he's still very young. He could almost still be playing. I mean, he's 37 years old. I mean, he could be on the field, technically, right? Hypothetically. Who's 39 years old and is still playing in top shape?
Ibrahimovic, baby.
Dude, I mean, really think about it. So you have a guy that is actually younger than Ibrahimovic who's actually on the sideline telling these players what to do.
Of course.
And how to do it. And do you think he's coming through? You think he's actually the guy to take the baton and carry this team out there? I don't think he does have it in him, and I don't think he has the team to follow him. That's the unfortunate part.
And I think you're right.
He has not put a team together himself. He's just inherited a bunch of crybabies. He's just inherited a bunch of kids that don't know what they want. They can't even believe themselves they're on the freaking Premier League and stepping on the field.
You're predicting Arsenal to win this game. When you're saying this, how are they going to put it together for this game finally?
But you know what? I'm actually predicting this in this way. They're going to come in because they owe it to themselves.
Okay, I see that.
They need to actually prove in 14 years they're playing for something.
Of course.
This week, Arsenal is playing for something more than just a game, right? It's a little bit more pride. They have to go in there and they have to prove themselves. So if Mikel can't actually go and pull this off with this team, the writing's going to be on the wall for him because he's really not producing what he should be producing.
So what's your score, Frankie?
My score is going to be 3-1 Arsenal.
3-1 Arsenal, 2-1 Manchester United. I guess we'll see you next time then. We'll see you after the game.
Awesome.